Now, if I'm looking at the master table of contents, the first part of the book, what I can do is I can click on a link, and that takes me to that chapter called Security. I'm at the table of contents for this chapter, and I can go ahead and click on one of those items from the table of contents and go down and look at the rest of that document. Now, as I continue to scroll down, look at the page numbering on the right. You can see that it shows the chapter number and then the pages and then the thumbnails as you go through each chapter. So while you can use the links, you can also just simply drag the scroll box all the way to the top and get back to the master table of contents. So this PDF is an interactive PDF that is set up to print or view online. It's also set up to use on an iPhone and an iPad. And Goodreader for the iPad and iPhone allow you to view and then touch the screen to move around. So how do you get here? So I just closed Acrobat and now I'm back to InDesign, and I have all of my chapters open. This is the INDB file and all of the chapters are open across the top. I can also see under Window that all of my chapters are open. So what I want to do is click on the files that I want to include in this book. I'm going to take you through exporting this to a PDF. What I've done so far is I've gone through each chapter, I've made sure everything is correct, and now I'm going to export. So I click on the first item, hold down my Shift key, and click on the last item, and you can see that this is blue. Let me do this one more time. If I click on the first item, hold down my Shift key, and click on the last item, I have selected every chapter for this book. And you can also see that these files are open by the dot here next on the other side of the page. So that shows that the files are open. I want to go under here. You can see that I have multiple choices here. I can pre-fight the book. I can package the book. Now theoretically I would have already done the pre-flight and package for each chapter. And you can see down here at the bottom, I hope you could see this, is it says no errors. So that means that I've already pre-flighted. What packaged means again is that you export all of the documents, which I call chapters here. You export those, the fonts, and any of the links that are included in this book, and you export those to its own folder, and it just puts everything together in that one folder. And you would do this with all of your files that you've created, so it keeps everything together. So in 5 years, if you want to work with it again, print it again, or send it to the printer, you would send that whole folder. Now, I'm not going to do that. What I want to do right now is export book to PDF. And so that's the choice that I'm going to make here. And here is where I give it a name. And GOM Company Manuals, I'm just going to write test after it because this is a different deal. And I'm putting it on my desktop and I click on Save. So I choose where I want to put it. And now I go through the process of exporting to interactive PDF. Now what a spread is, this is 2 pages where you see them side by side. That's called a spread. What I want to do is view the pages one on top of the other because I want to be able to scroll through this on an iPad or an iPhone or even the computer. This is the interactive PDF now, remember. This book will also be sent to the printer or just a printer in the home office. And in that case, you want it to be side by side, which is what the spread is. But I want pages. I want to view this after exporting. And now we'll get back to, after this runs its course, it will get back to where I just was, which was viewing the page in Acrobat. I want to embed the page thumbnails, and I'll show you what that looks like after we open it back up. I want to view it at 75%. And actually for this movie, I'm just going to choose 50% so we can see it a little bit better. The layout is I want single page continuous. Rarely do I want this to open in full screen mode, but that is your choice. From here, I want to include all forms and media. I don't have anything that is tagged in here, so I don't want to tag the PDF. Down here at the bottom, the JPEG quality, high is what I choose for here, and the resolution, it could be 300, it could be 144. Now this is going to either be printed or viewed on the screen, so I'm going to leave it at 300. If it was only going to be viewed on the screen, you could actually choose 72, and that would make the file much smaller. I'm going to leave it at 300 for now. And now I go ahead and click on OK. And now what it does is it goes through and exports all of the chapters and all of the images, and it's generating the PDF. Now at this time what it's also doing is generating all of the page thumbnails, and I'll show you where they come in handy when the PDF opens. The PDF is now open, and this is what I mean by single page continuous. See, they are no longer side by side, they're one on top of the other. And I can scroll through and look at this whole book. Now I'm going to make this page a little bit wider because I want to show you the other features that we had here. We've also created the bookmarks. I showed you this before. And we also created the page thumbnails. And if I make this even wider, I can widen this side up, get my cursor. See how I move my cursor here and it changes? For those of you that have worked in Excel, you can see that icon. But this is now the pages viewed side by side. Page 1, page 2, and it just goes back and forth. So you can see that it would be handy to view the pages in different modes here. And I can remember I set it for 50%, so here is my 50%. So this is the document that we just created. I can scroll through it in multiple ways. I can click on this little icon and drag all the way down. Notice that the page thumbnails drag down at the same time. So what this allows you to do is just take that visual, you know, it's kind of like scanning the horizon or something. You're scanning this to see if there's anything that doesn't look right, that is out of sorts, that maybe somehow you missed it along the way. And when you're done with this manual, then you're basically done. Another thing I want to show you is we can take this one other step, is go under the File menu and choose Save as Other. Notice that you've got other choices here, and the one that I want to point out is a reduced size PDF. So I'm going to actually make that choice now. I've got this manual saved as a test, and what I'm going to do is choose reduced size. Now I can make it compatible as far back as I want to go. The newer Acrobats allow for greater reducibility in terms of size. I usually leave it at somewhere around 7 or 8, and then I go ahead and click on OK. And I'm going to, instead of replacing that name, I'm going to get rid of company manuals. I'm just going to put a space after it and click on Save. And now you can see it's processing the images. So here are my two documents. The first one is right here, modified at 4:19, and the second one was modified at 4:22. So it just took a few minutes after that. This is 6.2 megabytes, and the reduced file size is 2.8 megabytes. So that made it quite a bit smaller, and that's what I wanted.